Players. Please welcome former Women's World Champion and Grandmaster Hu Yifan.
Hello, Arnav.
And with that, let the game begin.
And there we have it on the board. It is one knight f3. Well, the last time Gukesh employed this one, he came within a whisker of winning their game. Do you think he's going to go for the same line, maybe vary a little bit earlier on?
Yeah, it's fascinating. Of course, knight to f3, the Reti opening gives black a huge amount of choice. Ding does open with the queen's pawn, just as he did last time against the Reti. But who will vary first? Gukesh is the first to change things up, playing pawn to c4, so it's a mix between the Reti and the English. This does, however, allow a very ambitious pawn push in the center. If Ding wants to take the initiative, he can push this pawn. This is known to be slightly risky for white. White often, I mean, it's just a d-pawn opening with colors reversed. It can lead to Benoni, Benko, that type of thing, but with white having an extra tempo. Of course, if Ding wants to play solid or hasn't expected this, he's more likely to go into Queen's Gambit declined territory. But provocative from Gukesh.
Yes, I very much doubt, although I'm ready to eat my words, that we're going to see a move like d4 because, as you mentioned, play will sharpen up because white can just go b4. And then we have a whole different kettle of fish, especially different structures to what we've been seeing. So I'm expecting Gukesh, sorry, not Gukesh, Ding, to defend the pawn with the e-pawn and invites perhaps some transpositions into a Catalan and see what the game develops there. What do you think, David? Do you think we're going to see?
I think if this were any other tournament, wow, I was going to say, if this were any other event, Ding might push his pawn to d4, which is supposed to be the acid test of what white's doing. White does push with b4. Ivanka, I'm thrilled. This is going to be a real scrap now, a real fight.
I know. I wasn't what I was expecting at all because d4 is so committal. I mean, suddenly we have an incredibly unbalanced game. White has the advantage on the queen side. Black, on the other hand, will be looking to maintain that central space. Not what I expected at all.
No, this is really fascinating stuff. c5 played, and indeed it is a gambit by Gukesh. He pushes his pawn forward. It's like a reverse image of the Blumenfeld counter gambit.
And that's actually quite venomous with the black pieces, one tempo down. So wow, it's heating up already, and we're only on move 4.
Excited.
Unexpected, I would say. Like I wore the sparkles because I said I want to have like a lot of actions. I want to have sparkle on the board, and we are being promised an exciting game.
Wow, and just to recap for everyone, this position is going to heat up. It's already quite spicy, just like the local food. But let's go and show.
Subra is here, Arnav is here, and Ananta is here. Many more people are joining. Let's hope. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, sir. We can see your screen.
Great.
What opening we're actually comparing this with? If from the start we had seen white play pawn to d4, one of black's more ambitious tries against d4 is to play this move c5. White steps forward, and now b5. which is the Benko Gambit. And this is actually what we've got on the board with colors reversed. Not just that, but for example, you could start with the move e6, which looks like it's heading into a Benoni structure, but now after pawn to b5, again, it's the same thing, except here.
By the way, we are live, so you all can turn on your videos. My video is on YouTube live already, so it's not visible over here because we can use only live, I mean the camera once at one place. So let me just do the link in case if you cannot see it.
So I'm just gonna rejoin. There's an issue right here.
Okay, sure. No problem.
You have an extra move as white. So yeah, if we go back to the game, same thing, just with an extra tempo, as opposed to that variation. I mean, it's a mirror image essentially, except black doesn't have the move knight to f6. So here Ding is slightly behind, and I think the most ambitious again is to take this pawn. Ding looking down now, trying to recall something, trying to remember what he has studied in the past, and then you can take another pawn, and you're a pawn up as black. White often plays the move a3, just to be able to free up this knight, and sooner or later White will start taking the center. You can take this pawn first with your bishop. A bunch of choice here, but either way, it is really fighting stuff.
And a lot of great names playing this with the white pieces. We have Adiban. He played this against Ding Liren back in 2021. That was actually a win for Ding, so we might deep dive into that particular game. There's also Wei Yi. We also have Ituriazaga, Artemiev, and one David Howell.
I was waiting for that to appear. Not my finest game, but I think I managed to hold a draw as white.
Oh, was it not? I'm sorry.
No.
It was our producer, David.
I played this against Michael Adams in the final of the British Knockout Championship. I think it was a blitz game. I needed to win at all costs, and therefore I chose this opening. I knew it was a bit dodgy, or I thought it was a bit dodgy at the time, but now I'm seeing it at World Championship level, Jovanka. Maybe I have to rethink everything I knew.
Well, interesting. Let's deep dive into the mind games, though, because I'm sure that Gukesh has seen Ding's game in this, and Ding won against Adiban, and the game continued like this. So after e3, there was no taking of the pawn on b4. That looks very risky, to be said. As instead, knight to f6 was played, and then Adiban went b5, which is not the main. Okay, it is the main move. Sorry, my apologies. And then after knight bd7, e takes d4, c takes d4.
So the game has already started at 2:30. Both the players get 2 hours each. Most of the players already know about it. Now, the most exciting part of the game is the opening part at the moment, because both the players have been surprising each other with different types of openings throughout the tournament. So they have not followed one particular opening line because they want to surprise the other opponent. If the player, let's say for example, Ding Liren, he has a team already sitting with him already. Like they would be analyzing Gukesh's matches, so they would be definitely thinking that what is Gukesh's strategy or plan with respect to London system, with respect to French defense, with respect to let's say he playing Nimzo Indian defense. So all these lines they would be studying it already, and how would Gukesh respond to it? So that's the reason why in the yesterday's game they played pretty well. It was a solid draw because both the sides know what is going to come. In sometimes, obviously, the player will try their best to take the other player towards novelty, means something very new which could happen in the match. So now let's get back here. I'll just start once again for the initial stage. So some of them missed, some of them are here.
White play pawn to d4. One of black's more ambitious tries against d4 is to play
Not what I expected at all.
any other tournament. Wow.
Yes, I very much doubt, although I'm ready to eat my words, that we're going to see a move like d4, because as you mentioned, play will sharpen up because white can just go b4. And then we have a whole different kettle of fish, especially different structures to what we've been seeing. So I'm expecting Ding to defend the pawn with the e-pawn and invites perhaps some transpositions into a Catalan and see what the game develops there. What do you think, David? Do you think we're going to see?
I think if this were any other tournament, wow, I was going to say, if this were any other event, Ding might push his pawn to d4, which is supposed to be the acid test of what White's doing. White does push with b4. Ivanka, I'm thrilled. This is going to be a real scrap now, a real fight.
I know. I wasn't what I was expecting at all because d4 is so committal. I mean, suddenly we have an incredibly unbalanced game. White has the advantage on the queen side. Black, on the other hand, will be looking to maintain that central space. Not what I expected at all.
No, this is really fascinating stuff. c5 played, and indeed it is a gambit by Gukesh. He pushes his pawn forward. It's like a reverse image of the Blumenfeld counter gambit.
And that's actually quite venomous with the black pieces, one tempo down. So wow, it's heating up already, and we're only on move 4.
Excited.
Unexpected, I would say. Like I wore the sparkles because I said I want to have like a lot of actions. I want to have sparkle on the board, and we are being promised an exciting game.
Wow, and just to recap for everyone, this position is going to heat up. It's already quite spicy, just like the local food. But let's go and show what opening we're actually comparing this with. If from the start we had seen White play pawn to d4, one of Black's more ambitious tries against d4 is to play this move c5, White steps forward, and now b5, which is the Benko gambit. And this is actually what we've got on the board with colors reversed. Not just that, but for example, you could start with the move e6, which looks like it's heading into a Benoni structure, but now after pawn to b5, again, it's the same thing, except here you have an extra move as White. So yeah, if we go back to the game, same thing, just with an extra tempo, as opposed to that variation. I mean, it's a mirror image essentially, except Black doesn't have the move knight to f6. So here Ding is slightly behind, and I think the most ambitious again is to take this pawn. Ding looking down now, trying to recall something, trying to remember what he has studied in the past, and then you can take another pawn, and you're a pawn up as Black. White often plays the move a3. Just to be able to free up this knight, and sooner or later White will start taking the center. You can take this pawn first with your bishop. A bunch of choice here, but either way it is really fighting stuff.
And a lot of great names playing this with the white pieces. We have Adiban. He played this against Ding Liren back in 2021. That was actually a win for Ding, so we might deep dive into that particular game. There's also Wei Yi. We also have Iturriaga, Artemiev, and one David Howell.
I was waiting for that to appear. Not my finest game, but I think I managed to hold a draw as White.
Oh, was it not? I'm sorry.
No.
It was our producer, David.
I played this against Michael Adams in the final of the British Knockout Championship. I think it was a blitz game. I needed to win at all costs, and therefore I chose this opening. I knew it was a bit dodgy, or I thought it was a bit dodgy at the time, but now I'm seeing it at World Championship level, Ivanka. Maybe I have to rethink everything I knew.
Well, interesting. Let's deep dive into the mind games, though, because I'm sure that Gukesh has seen Ding's game in this, and Ding won against Adiban, and the game continued like this. So after e3, there was no taking of the pawn on b4. That looks very risky, to be said. As instead, knight to f6 was played, and then Adiban went b5, which is not the main. Okay, it is the main move. Sorry, my apologies. And then after knight bd7, e takes d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4.
Instead of grabbing a pawn, Black sacrifices a pawn.
And the whole justification is that the black knight can come to c5, and then e5 will happen, and Black will have a big bind on d4.
For example, the white knight is attacked. If you move it back, there's some arguments to be made for the black knight jumping in, but you can also play a move like e5. I don't think this pawn is one you want to capture, really. There's going to be all sorts of tactics. I mean, I guess you've got to calculate a bit, but queen to e2, I think you can safely capture this rook in the corner, and there's no good discover checks. Black will simply block, and the black queen is snacking on some pieces down here. So, yeah, I mean, this type of position looks very attractive for black. I wonder what Gukesh has in mind. I think it's been a few years, Ivanka, but my game, I think, also went knight to f6. And yeah, white here, I think other than b5, struggles to find a useful move. You don't really want to take on c5 because the black knight now has a very safe square to jump to on c6, defending this pawn. e5 is coming very quickly. The bishop's jumping out. Black's actually a bit ahead in development.
Yeah. You played bishop b2.
Yeah, I played bishop b2, therefore. I just remember not liking b5 when I was preparing, and bishop b2 is a bit of a waiting move. But now it makes more sense for black to capture this pawn because after pawn to a3, you lose time, if you want to take with the bishop at least. So often white takes with the knight or takes even sometimes with the rook a bit later if they want to hold back on a3 for now. But yeah, for example, if white plays d4 and black fianchettos the bishop this way, then you can maybe even take with the rook and hope to later, after pushing a pawn to e4, swing it across. But yeah, this is really complex stuff, pawn to e3. Just to point out as well, if Gukesh had wanted a different type of pawn sacrifice, g3 is also playable with a Benko gambit reversed, sometimes known as the Volga gambit, I believe.
Yeah, that's also very viable as well. Once in my life I dabbled with the Benko gambit of black pieces, and it was relatively successful. Relatively.
Only in blitz for me.
But in the end, myself and my coach kind of
Yes,
came
and
to the
to
conclusion
50
that it was all
nameless.
through the
Hi.
and that was my
Arjun,
best
Adiban,
chess, so
Seturaman, Abhijit
it was
Gupta,
a good
Deekshan
learning
Gupta,
experience.
Hareka, Deepan.
But
I mean,
okay,
it's
So it's an
E3,
Indian line, huh?
E3, okay.
a lot of people have played, yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't expect
This is
this.
so
I've got to say, like,
exciting,
even
yeah,
if
that
Gukesh
all
is
Indians
playing this
are playing
provocatively, I
this.
thought Ding would just go queen's
So
gambit
when you
decline,
play
solid, that's what he's
c4 on the
prepared, his main
second move, if
opening.
we just back up to that
And
moment,
white
Amrita.
has some other tries, but nothing too scary. This is scary stuff to face if you haven't prepared.
Yeah, I'm also surprised. I honestly felt that the game would kind of take on, do you call them neo-Catalans, you know, where white goes g3 and then tries to
It'll be
transpose
really
into a
interesting, I
Catalan
think, for
later
me
on.
to see
By cutting
how
out some
Ding
of the
handles
options.
this. But it's not going to be easy
yeah,
simply
maybe that
because
was-
Ding will not get the kind of positions that he's been aiming for. His strategy is clear कि भाई exchange कर दो सब कुछ, draw करो, game खत्म करो. वो ऐसी opening से नहीं होने वाला.
But then क्यों choose की ऐसी opening? Why didn't you play e6 or c6? Today, I just feel like if Ding wanted such a safe game, he had a clear choice on move 2. The fact that he chose pushing the pawn means that he also wants a fight today. What else could be the
fight
reason?
with
He
the
can
black
also he can
pieces.
actually be ambitious. That is actually true.
Or maybe Sagar Bhai, this is something he absolutely did not expect, and this was the preparation he had done earlier, and this is something he didn't expect today.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, and
I think-
d4 could be an impulsive move.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point, Sahil, that perhaps not for this game it was very well prepared, and he did take the decision to go d4 very quickly. It's not as though he spent a lot of time, which is why it's also, how many? 15 minutes, by the way, already.
15 minutes. थोड़ा जल्द.
Almost 15 minutes.
Yeah, the thing is, he's I think recollecting his line, but we have never seen Ding thinking so much on move 4. Maybe on move 7 was the one time where I think that's when he starts thinking.
But
But
that's
yeah,
because वहाँ novelty हो जाता है. यहाँ पे this is a very well discovered position. So it's not the next move that he's struggling with. He's just looking at
Yes, Said, you want to say something?
Sir,
Yes,
the
Said, please tell me.
the queen to
A4.
A4.
Yeah, queen a4 check. Correct. That can be done. Makes sense.
again, where do I play? What do I do to avoid what Gukesh has in mind for me?
Correct. And I can tell
Okay,
you
well
that Ding is not going to go for the pawn. This is my
Which
feeling.
pawn?
D
Yes.
takes e3, this line. Because it's such an amazing line. Let's just have a look at it. D takes e3,
खेल दे भाई, मजा आ जाएगा.
fe3, cb4, d4. Let's say you bring your knight, knight f6, bishop d3. Let's say g6, e6, maybe let's put e6, castles, and bishop e7. And this position, if you look at it, it is amazing compensation for a pawn, White can even give another pawn in the style of Benko by playing a3 here, and then just develop all the pieces and so on.
This is a beautiful position even when black gets it. In that reverse position that we showed you guys, it's super dangerous. So imagine being up a move, that e pawn starts moving forward at some point, e4, e5, and then there are already ideas of checkmate along the king side. So you have to be super careful getting into this, and it just doesn't feel like Ding style right now to get into this sort of an imbalance.
The best part is जो दो games में Gukesh was winning, right, or close to winning, दोनों में Ding took like a 30-minute think here, 35-minute think here.
In the opening.
हाँ, so that is common, hoping he takes that much time, and वही pattern repeat one. इस time Gukesh converts.
Gukesh एकदम ही आंख बंद करके, if we can zoom in on Gukesh, director साहब, that would be really cool. Look at him. He is like fully focused.
I was just trying to. It's the same
30%
link
of the
on
time
YouTube.
he keeps his eyes closed, right?
Yeah, Spuraj, that. What did you say?
That's the stats.
That's the big start.
And I think Tanya, you mustn't say anything, because the moment you said last time he
guys,
opened,
डर
he opened his eyes. You were like,
Immediately.
looks like he's sleeping, and Gukesh was like this.
Look at his breathing.
किसने बोला?
His
But I'm
breathing, yeah.
sure many kids will try this out, and when they close their eyes, they will fall off to sleep.
Maybe I'll do it.
Breathing is so slow, यार, ऐसे calm ऐसे.
Yeah.
Maybe he's learned
Probably
some
worked-
techniques.
Yeah, he's worked on it, on how to keep calm, how Paddy Upton, his coach. I'm sure that these are things that they've looked at as a mental coach in high pressure, high nervous situations, or let's say when you're
See, look at that, everyone.
long,
Listen
you
to
don't
it
want to get up
carefully.
and leave. How do you keep yourself in the moment
Hmm.
and
Very
yet
important.
don't let the nerves affect you?
Yeah.
Also, I was seeing somewhere that their resting area, I've only actually been physically present in the recent past in Dubai for the World Championship match. And the resting
What do you
area
think,
that they have
Adya?
here
Is he sleeping or
is
relaxing?
not a super beautiful or a super fun resting area, a player's lounge. The Dubai one was awesome, by the way. So I think that's also to discourage the players to make this into a world chair championship where both leave and start spending too
So he
much
can't
time
sleep
there.
in World
So
Championship.
perhaps it's just not tempting enough to go into
Obviously,
that
he has to
one
relax.
room.
Yeah.
He would be
And I think they
recollecting.
both have
In your exams, when you're trying to recollect your answers, what do? You
Sir,
either see somewhere, if you, or you either close your eyes. Same thing. It is his exam going on.
sir, he might have been blindfolded. Blindfolded.
Maybe, for sure.
really preferred spending time on the board. Even now, you can see Ding has been thinking for 18 minutes.
Is he getting
Gukesh could
sad?
have.
He looks nervous.
He does, right? His hand was a little.
Yeah. And Ring
Guys.
actually expresses when he's nervous.
Yeah,
Sagar
I
knows.
agree.
Why does he do
don't
that?
do this, guys.
Sagar,
क्या हुआ?
it's like we are not saying he plays bad moves when he's nervous. His chess is at the top, right? He's at his core. He's the world champion for a reason, and he's proven that in this match. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he's probably actually nervous right now.
I used to get so excited seeing Ding doing this, and then I've seen him making classy moves. So I've stopped looking
Sagar
at
bhai
these.
is immune now.
मैं बोल रहा हूँ तू जो भी करेगा, you even start like frowning or closing your eyes. I don't think we can get too much from his expressions. Although, if truth be told, like any person who watches this will realize that Ding is looking a bit fidgety. He's looking at the clock again and again, looking at Gukesh.
Okay.
His moves
So if you
quality
see,
is generally very good.
yeah, the comments which is given by Sagar Shah right now, it was pretty perfect. What did he just say is his body language can't be predicted. So what you need to learn from this is that even if the opponent feels like he's not so confident, you cannot judge him directly there and there. There can be some simple psychological tactics which opponent can play easily. Right now, if you can see my screen, this is the actual game going on live, where Ding Liren
Sir,
he's in deep thought process. 21 minutes already taken on the fourth move of the game. Can you see it? Just the fourth move of the game. He's taking 20 minutes to play. You play a game of 10 plus 5 within that, right? So, what you need to understand is, yeah, by the way, show me faces, everyone. You all can see my face on the YouTube live, which is already going on. Uh, when the video is on over there, this screen doesn't allow me to turn on my video. So I will request y'all if you wish to watch, you can also go there as well. Also, y'all can turn on your video so that I can see y'all at least so that it will be a good interaction. Yeah. So here, as you can see, 21 minutes already down. But what they are actually thinking about. So here they're preferring to which line they should opt. So here there are options like pawn takes pawn. There can be an idea, what if the pawn goes on d3, bishop takes, but yeah, the queen is there, so bishop takes cannot happen. Correct? So pawn d3 one way, what will happen with like what will I play here? Then what if the queen check comes? What will I play? All sorts of ideas. Sai that give an idea of queen a4 check. So which white can play? Obviously, but no one moves the queen out early. That's the principal scenario. So they also know that principle. Sometimes even the world champions they know what they are doing. So in the first or some of the other one championship match, the opponent that is Dingliren, he did not castle for 31 moves actually. He did the casting on the 31st move. So they break the principles because they know what they are doing against the opponent. Okay. See all the top players which are there. So let me just show you something here. 700.
Sir, in this position,
Yes.
sir, in this position, Gukesh can also play bishop to do bishop to d3.
Okay. What does that do? Pawn takes pawn. Then your bishop will be yeah. Okay. Sure. Pawn takes pawn. D2 takes pawn back. Okay. It is right now black's turn. So black is thinking. Dingleren is thinking. For 23 minutes, he's been thinking straight. So remember, this is actually one of the other advantage which Gukesh should keep. But yeah, it's not the fact. I've shown you so many times. Whenever we play games, time matters, but the moves on the board matters very much. All right. So as I showed you now, the top players which play against each other. So if they're playing in a chess tournament, so now for example, here if we just take St. Louis, but yeah, there is some other tournament which is actively going on. Yes, here. Yeah, so President Cup and Qatar Masters. So most of the time, these players are aware with whom they are going to play. Some big tournaments, like for example, Qatar Masters and President Cup, there the players are at huge scale. When the players are just 10 or 20, they know who are the participants there. So it's better for them to judge easily what the moves are going to be played. Okay, so their team and they sit and analyze what needs to be done, how should be their repertoire, and then they plan. So you see here, maybe Ding might have not prepared for this line. So knight f3, see, so you clearly understand what Gukesh would be thinking is knight f3, bishop pawn d5, bishop, let's see, pawn c4, pawn d4 by black, pawn b4, pawn c5, pawn e3. So what Ding will try? Ding will try his best to take Gukesh out of this line to play something else. Why? Because they want themselves to try to get into such situation where the game is entirely new. So as I showed you, these top players already might have played the same line. So for example, here, as I showed you, just a moment. So the same game, which you can see on my screen, might have been played between Nakamura or Fabiano. Just giving an example. I'm not sure whether they just have played, but giving an example where these top players might have played the same line. So what is Ding trying to do? Ding is trying to recollect past 25 minutes. He's not sitting like he doesn't know what is the answer in the question paper. He's not sitting like that because he's the sitting world champion. All right, they had a rest day yesterday. So they are thinking as to which direction to take the game. If Ding doesn't feel confident about this line, he will try his best to end the game in a draw. That is the advantage of classical game. They have ample amount of time. That's why you don't see decisive results in classical format matches. You see decisive results in a rapid format or blitz format, where the players don't literally have that much amount of time to sit and dig deeper. Got it? Yes or no? Hello, am I talking to
Yes,
myself?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very low
Yes, sir.
response. All right. Okay, still thinking. That's so nice. Good for Gukesh. So Gukesh is already 26 minutes in bonus to what we can say. Yeah, not even 26. More than that.
Sir,
That's
I
good.
think Dig is going to lose all the time with this only.
No, impossible, impossible. Because obviously they prepare themselves for this time and they know what they are trying to do. So it's very unusual. So see, these are some tactics on the board which can be played. Ding might be showing that he's in like he's not confident today.
Sir,
All sorts
sir,
of
why
yes,
is he recollecting? He should think about best moves, no?
exactly.
Why does he want to recollect?
Because he knows that the opponent is Gukesh. So even if he thinks about best move, Gukesh is ready with the best response. So he's picking up the see, there are candidate moves, 4 to 5 moves, which comes to his mind. So whichever move he feels best at. So they are thinking at least 4 to 5 moves ahead, minimum, bare minimum 4 to 5 moves. So after the 4 to 5 moves line, if Ding Liren is finding it comfortable that yeah, I should go ahead with this line, I can get some chance in the game, then I will play this. Or else I'll not play. I'll play something very safe.
So I like
So what to do?
Yeah,
classes
yeah.
and like 6:45 still the tournament is going on.
Can you repeat, Adya? Your voice was cracking for me.
They still play for a very long time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They will be
Like
playing.
yeah,
So
even if it's starting now, it still won't end till like 6 or 7 because at the
correct,
time I
correct.
joined, it's still the match is going on.
Right, right, right. See, that's obvious, because both the players get 2 hours each. Both the players get 2 hours each for the initial 40 moves of the match. And after the 40 moves are done, they get additional 30 minutes extra on their clock. That's how it works. So if you just do the maths, so 2 hours each and then one. I mean 30 minutes, that is 1 hour. Yeah. And then additional 30 seconds they get. So close to
See,
five
I
and a
was
half
just
hours, the match can easily go.
I was
So
just
much they
adding
have
with
to
someone
assess
who can
as
who
as to
had said,
Hmm.
so don't you think they like will lose all their time?
Ajay, I couldn't get your question. Can you please repeat the question?
It was not a question, sir. I was just agreeing with you.
Okay, cool. Understood. All right. Let me just have a look. Okay, cool.
what Gukesh would have prepared, and
Huh.
when would he have this line should I dodge, the other line should I play? How do they decide this? I mean, it's such a nervous state right now, Sagar.
I just think that Ding doesn't want to get into some line that Gukesh has looked at in great depth. So he's like, if I can find at least a line which I know well, what is that? Which move should I choose? Because this is a key
So
moment.
black can play
As a
knight to
player, you
f3.
try to look for lines in situations
Knight to f6. Knight to f6. Okay.
like the one that you're describing, Amrita,
Yeah.
where you feel like the tension or the moves are not absolutely forced or tactical, where you don't have to be 100% precise, otherwise you're going to land into trouble.
Exactly.
Look
And
at
what
that.
are
He
Listen,
those
wants
listen.
to
lines over
clear
here?
some
Not to
Listen,
take a
listen.
uh,
Listen to it. Listen to it carefully. Listen to it carefully.
e3 but go knight f6. I think Ding is trying to think in that direction ki after knight f6 b5 he's remembering his game, where can he change his moves to perhaps bring in a semi surprise for Gukesh.
Got it. Got it. Got it, everyone. See, that's what I told you
Agree.
some
If you
time
will look
ago.
at lines, Rakesh bhai with another stat on
अरे
fire today.
बढ़िया भाई.
16 मूव्स खेली जा चुकी हैं इस पोजीशन में ब्लैक की तरफ से इन द डेटाबेस 16 मूव्स भाई 16 लीगल मूव्स भी हैं हमें
You mean in this position? So D takes E3.
या
Amruta, if you can make
Yeah.
the arrows. D takes E3. No, arrows only.
Look at
D
that,
takes
everyone.
E3.
नाइट
Knight
f6
F6. F6.
हाँ
Bishop G4. Knight C6. G6. C takes B4.
Sir, presentation voice is not
E6.
coming.
B6.
Okay,
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 थोड़ा ज़्यादा
okay.
हो रहा है,
Yeah.
but
Okay, maybe. What is yes, yes. Okay, Adya. Try to rejoin if you're not able to hear. I have paused the stream at the moment. Just give me a minute.
Sir,
Yes, Parth.
yes. Gukesh is so much prepared for the opening.
Obviously, that's what he. See, if he's not
Sir,
prepared for the opening, then how does that make
so
sense?
that
Because he's
cannot
white.
be a
Yeah, I've
so that
paused
cannot
already.
be
I have
every
paused.
video.
I have paused. I have paused. I have paused because their team is also having a lot of people already, right? So it's actually buffering as well. So I've not taken it exactly at the live moment. So that it's going. It should go proper. Wait.
बहुत ज्यादा हो
यहाँ
गया
तक ठीक है.
A7 भी
Now,
खेला होगा किसी
हाँ
ने.
क्या?
नहीं नहीं.
can you hear?
Knight A6 is also there. Very weird.
So basically, we already understand that Ding has so much on his plate to choose from.
Got it?
But look
Problem
at
of
the
plenty.
time. The time 1
Problem
hour
of plenty.
37 minutes.
जान दो नीचे कोई
Acha
चक्कर
Yeah,
region.
it's very good that he's taking his time right now, and of course, Gukesh has just taken 25 seconds so far in this game.
But yeah, Gukesh, what an amazing guy. Just 18 Sagar. So much at stake. Like, you know, one game, if he wins 200k, मतलब 1.8 crore, जिसमें मुंबई का एक घर आ सकता है. इतना कुछ स्टेक पे है. पूरा इंडिया का, you know, उसके खंडों पे प्रेशर है. At 18 तुम, like, क्या थे? तुम क्या कर रहे थे 18 साल पे?
वो तुम्हें प्रपोज कर रहा था 18 साल पे.
I was taking so much more pressure.
You were taking some really big decisions at that point.
Yeah. I think Amruta, what Gukesh is doing, maybe no one in the chess world has done. It's first
Sagar,
time
even what
ever.
you did, no one in the chess world has done.
थोड़े मतलब I understand I was a prodigious talent off the board, but
Off the board.
uh,
But Atrape, seriously, Tanya, like really, what were you most tensed about when you were 18?
Sir, Ding has
Yes.
lost
It's hard to
how many
remember, but I think that
minutes
was the year that I got my international
in
master
the
title,
fourth
or at least
move?
one of woman grandmaster or
Yes.
international master title. And I mean, at that level, I was
Sir,
feeling
I'm
so much
asking
pressure.
how
So I
many.
can only imagine at
One
this
second. And
stage
let me
what
pause
it
that.
takes to
Let me
show
pause
this
that.
kind of courage to play such an aggressive.
Yeah. Akshas, what was the question?
How many minutes has Ding lost?
33 minutes already. He still did not play. So that this shows that the opponent is actually clueless what to do. He's not clear with what plan he has to take. Got it. This is a clear-cut advantage for Gukesh with respect to time as well as during the entire match today. Let's just pray that Gukesh is able to sustain the advantage. Yeah, because there have been great games previously where he was very close to winning, but then suddenly on the 28th move, 27th move, things went haywire. And he started losing, but then again he managed to hold the game for a draw comfortably. So that's how exciting it is. Let us get back here. Okay, just a second. You know the fun part, what I will tell you is, see, don't go by the rating. Why do I tell you? Look at this now. You think that Dingiren is the world champion. But here, if you see the live rating over here, Dingiren is at the moment 17th across the world, in the world. Magnus Carlsen is number one, Gukesh is number five. Got it? And Gukesh is losing rating if he is. See, Gukesh lost 8 points, Dingiren won 8 points. That's how it happens. Got it? So don't go literally by the ratings at times. 35 minutes done. Wow, that's pretty interesting. So meanwhile, let's look into this. Let me share another screen with you. Can you all hear me? Loud and clear.
Yes,
I
sir.
I can't see you. I can't see you. Show me your faces, everybody. You all can see my video there on YouTube Live already. You all won't be able to see me here because of the video which is on. Yeah. Okay. So I would like to explain you something very interesting. Can you see my screen? Everyone? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, just a minute. Yes. See, so let's try to understand the World Chess Championship. How does it work? In the history, see, the World Chess Championship began in 1886. So more than 100 years ago, this World Chess Championship started, establishing itself as a pinnacle of the chess excellence. So legends like Bobby Fischer, Gary Kasparov, Vishwanathan Anand have left indelible marks on its history. So basically, these three are one of the strong world champions. Obviously, there were many world champions back then, which were playing at their peak during their generation. Mikhail Tal, so many other grandmasters. All right. So now let's get to a stage where a player becomes a world champion, or let's say chess champion in a way. So first, the player has to achieve the title of Grandmaster. He must earn three Grandmaster norms in official FIDE tournaments, and then he has to surpass 2500 rating, ELO rating. All right, and then after becoming a Grandmaster, a player must excel in FIDE events, including the Candidates Tournament, to secure a chance to challenge the reigning world champion. So, what did Gukesh do? Gukesh achieved the Grandmaster title at the age of 12. After achieving the Grandmaster title, he started playing lots of chess tournaments, and then at the age of 18, after winning the Candidates Tournament, he is now sitting in front of the current world champion, Ding Liren. Understood? Getting it, everyone? Yes or no? Cartoons.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So now here we have Gukesh is as India's rising chess star. At the age of 18, Gukesh has emerged as a prodigy following Vishwanathan Anand's footsteps. Why? Why is this such a big event for India? Because after Vishwanathan Anand, there is someone who has become a challenger in the World Chess Championship. It is Gukesh. All right. So Gukesh has done a phenomenal job by cracking this and getting inside the World Chess Championship circle. All right. Yeah, that's what I just showed and told you. So, how does the rule? The rules are like this: 14 rounds will be played against each other. The one who scores 7.5, obviously, because 14's half is 7. The one who scores more than 7, that player wins. All right. And if the score is tie after 14 rounds, the points are 7 on 7. Then two games with 10 minutes plus 5 seconds. 10 plus 5, which you usually play, they will be playing 10 plus 5 match. And if that also goes into a draw, then they'll play blitz matches. 3 plus 2 match. Okay, then two games of blitz. If blitz also goes to a draw, then there will be Armageddon. Okay, got it? Everyone understanding it? So right now, what's the status? The status is tie. 5 on 5. 10 games are
Sir,
done. Yes?
what is Armageddon?
Very good question. So basically, Parth is playing against me. I am playing as black. Okay. Parth is playing as white. I will be getting, let's just say I'll be getting 10 minutes. Parth will be getting 7 minutes on the clock. But Parth has to try to defeat me in that game because Parth is white. I am black. Okay. And I just have to maintain a draw. I can win the game, obviously. If I am able to defeat Parth, I can win the game, that's for sure. But if I lose, then the world champion will be Parth. But if I am holding the game just for a draw, Parth did a draw against me again. So the advantage is given to the black player. Why? Because I was black side, so I have to like just try to snatch a draw. If we draw the game, I'll still become the world champion. Okay, got it? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just a moment.